Hello students, this is Rashmi Singh ma'am once again in front of you all, and today I am going to teach you the second part of The Lost Spring written by Anish Jung. But before I start teaching you, I would like to address you and tell you that an English lesson should always be taught in English and not in Hindi, because this enhances your personality and you're able to understand English properly. And more so, don't forget that you have to present your answers in English. You don't have to present your answers in Hindi, because this is English paper. This is not some other paper, science, maths or some other paper that you're trying to understand it in Hindi, because you are writing in English and not in Hindi. So if you have any other problems, if you have any other queries, you can write to me at rashmi.singh02110211@gmail.com. So before I start this lesson, the Lost Spring second part, I would like to recap the first part, in which the protagonist was Sahib-e-Alam, whose actually name meant Lord of the World, but he was what, students? He was just a garbage picker, and garbage for him was gold. So now let us start this this portion of this chapter. This is an excerpt in which Anish Jung brings out the social injustice of the place called Firozabad in India. So Firozabad is known for its bangle factories, its glass blowing factories, and actually what happens here, more and more children are employed. So Anish Jung wants to bring out the social injustice done to these children and to the people who gradually lose their luster of life. Luster, chamak, one or two lines I may be using in Hindi to make you understand. Luster of life. They are so much concentrated day and night into making bangles that their eyes get adjusted to the darkness of the inside of the rooms, and they lose their eyesight before time, and they meet their death also, because their city is in a very bad condition. Houses are coming down, and dilapidated condition, and very bad condition, which means that the houses are in very jittery condition. They are not well kept. And why? Because you must be wondering that these glass things, this crystal glass, you can say show pieces and all, you get them in mall and so many places you see, and you buy it so costly. But do you know that how cheaply they are being what cheap rates they are being bought from these people, those who are actually day and night making bangles of different colors for people to please them, and all these crystal glass, you can say show pieces, and then they are sold out in the market. Even if they want to come out of this vicious circle, they are caught in the vicious circle of middlemen, sahukars, police, then these politicians and bureaucrats. So now I want to begin the chapter. This chapter, again, the protagonist is a small boy, Mukesh, who says, I want to drive a car. So he wants to come out of this shackles of slavery. What is the shackles of slavery? This is the chain of slavery in which they were tied. Because if their grandfathers made bangles, it was said that they would be also making bangles. तो ये हमारे यहाँ कुछ ऐसा चलता आता है कि अगर आपके बाप दादा जूतों पे काम करते हैं तो आपको भी जूते बनाने होंगे. और अनीस जंग is trying to address to this social injustice and is trying to bring out these children from this trap. So she puts it beautifully, and she has been an author, and she is a columnist author. So she wants to bring out this story, and as I will be teaching you this story, reading and teaching you, I will be asking you to underline the important lines, the lines which are coming in board exams. I want to drive a car. Mukesh insists on being his own master. Now the first part we ended where Sahib was no longer his own master because he had started working in a tea stall. And now what happens? Mukesh wants to be his own master because he wants to come out of the chain of the slavery of making bangles, and he's saying that he wants to drive a car. Let's see what he says. Mukesh insists on being his own master. I will be a motor mechanic. So he says he will be a motor mechanic. So if he will be a motor mechanic, what will happen, children? He can go and he can drive cars. He can go for car test drives and all these things. He announces. Do you know anything about cars? I ask. I will learn to drive a car, he answers, looking straight into my eyes. So he says, I will learn. What's so hard in it? His dream looms like a mirage under the dust of streets that fill the town of Firozabad. So please underline this, children. This is a very important line. What is a mirage? Mirage is just an impression of a sea, a portion of a water, river in the deserts. It is not a true place from where you can get water. It is just an impression, ek jhoot. So this is what Anish Jung is saying, that his dream looms like a mirage, like a false apprehension of water, appearance of water. And she knows that this dream is very difficult to be fulfilled. Amongst and this, what is desert here? Like mirage is always in a desert. So what is a desert here? Desert is this, the city of Firozabad, which is not very in a good condition, and the streets are dusty and the streets are very old. Then he says his dreams loom like a mirage amidst the dust of streets that fill the town of Firozabad, famous for its bangles. So Firozabad is famous for its bangles, all lovely colors of bangles. Every other family in Firozabad is engaged in making bangles. So every other family in Firozabad is engaged in making bangles. So this is their livelihood, and they cannot come out of this. They cannot dream of being a motor mechanic or something else. But Mukesh is trying to become a motor mechanic. He wants to become a motor mechanic. So let's go ahead. It is the center of India's glass blowing industry. Please underline, because they can ask you, describe Firozabad or anything. So what it is the center of India's glass blowing industry, where families have spent generations working around furnaces. भट्टी, ईट भट्टी होता है, उसी तरीके से furnaces, you can say huge fire in kind of furnaces, hovels, and where glasses were being melted, welding glass, making bangles for all the women in the land, it seems. So many bangles that it seemed that bangles were made for all the women on this earth there. Mukesh's family is among them. None of them know that it is illegal for children like them to work in glass furnaces with high temperature, and none of them know that it is illegal. Then again here, children, child labor comes. So a passage can come, your long question answer on HOTS, higher order thinking on child labor can come. So none of them know that it is not justifiable for children, or such small children, to even children below 14 cannot work, and here they should not be introduced to furnaces. So let's go ahead. Like them to work in glass furnaces with high temperatures in dingy cells. Dingy cells, it is not dingy also, it is pronounced dingy. Dingy means very small house without any light. Dingy. Dinghy, when you say dinghy, that is a boat. D-I-N-G-H-Y, that is a small boat. This is dinghy or dingy room without any oxygen, without any lighting. Dingy cells without air and light. that the law, if enforced, would get them and all those 20,000 children out of the hot furnaces where they slog their daylight hours after losing the brightness of their eyes. So if the law is properly enforced, then they would be taken out from here. All these, how many children were being present here, and how many children were being slogged to work? Around 20,000 children. So they would be taken out from here, and where they're losing their eyesight because brightness, losing the brightness of their eyesight. And though it is very bright outside, though it is very sunny in outside, they're losing what? They're losing their eyesight, they're losing everything, their brightness of life, because day and night they're working, often losing the brightness of their eyes. Mukesh's eyes beam. Now see the contrast. How beautifully the writer is writing. Mukesh's eyes beam as he volunteers to take me home. So he says, come to my home, I'll take you. And which he proudly says is being rebuilt. So hardly anybody had a roof there. Kisi ke paas chhat nahi hai. And Mukesh had a roof, so he was very proud, and he asked Anees Jung, visit my home, I will take you to my home. So we walked down stinking lanes choked with garbage. So she walks on the streets, and beside the streets were these stinking lanes. Lanes means नाले जिसको sorry हाँ, वो जो उसके साथ साथ नाले भी थे. Lanes are the streets, and beside these they had these stinking garbage thrown here and there. So choked with garbage. So much of garbage was thrown from all the houses, all the waste material. So it was stinking. And choked means completely filled. Choked means choked with emotions. Once I taught you, when choked with emotions, when you're feeling, so overwhelmed and choked with, you can't speak. So that is choked with emotion. Now the lane is choked with garbage. Past homes and remains hovels with crumbling walls. So all the houses felt that they would come down. They were like very in a pathetic condition. Crumbling walls, crumbling bread. It is generally used with crumbling bread when it is very dry and withered and you cannot eat. So these walls were like colorless. Their cement, their paint, all were coming down, and it seemed that any moment they can come down. Wobbly doors, shaking. Doors were very shaking, very old. No windows, crowded with families of humans and animals coexisting in primeval state. So they had no windows, nothing, and wobbly doors, and it seemed that they had animals, these pet animals, maybe cows, etc. And it seemed that all humans and animals were living in coexistence as if early ages, and there was no sanitation, and they were exposed to different kinds of diseases. Door with humans. He stops at the door of one such house. So he stops at the door of one such house, and that house must be his. We enter a half-built shack. So it was almost shack kind of a half-built house. In one part of it, thatched with dead grass. Thatched means roof was covered with dead grass. Roof. Thatched means, thatching is when you use dead grass to cover the roof, that is thatching. So thatched with dead grass is a firewood stove, and there is a stove kept, and what kind of fuel is used? Firewood. लकड़ी के चूल्हे में खाना बन रहा था वहां पे. Which sits a large vessel of sizzling spinach leaves. Spinach palak. So there was a large vessel, utensil, on which spinach was being boiled, and it was sizzling, means it was boiling and it was hot, and it was, the fuel used was wood. On the ground in large aluminium platters, and on the ground large aluminium plates. Platters means plate. The big ones in the village, they have big plates, that is called platters, are more chopped vegetable, and some more chopped vegetables were kept there. A frail young woman is cooking the evening meal. Frail means very thin, and a very young woman. Frail means very thin and weak. So in Mother in 66, the old lady was also very frail. Here she is young, but she is very thin, she is very frail. She is cooking evening meal for the whole family, though eyes filled with smoke, because she was making it on fuel which was wood. And what happened, as she was burning it, it was very smoky, and the smoke was entering her eyes, and her eyes were smoking. It was getting teary. She was all smiles. She smiled and she greeted them. She is the wife of Mukesh's elder brother. So who is she? She is the wife of Mukesh's elder brother, and she takes care of Mukesh, her husband, and her father-in-law. Not much older in years. So Mukesh's brother is not very old, and neither this girl. She is very young. She has begun to command respect as Bahu. So she was the Bahu of the family, and she had covered her face. The veil, veil, parda. The veil was there. The Bahu, the daughter-in-law of the house, already in charge of 3 men, as I told you, her husband Mukesh and their father. When the older man enters, she gently withdraws behind. So it was like village, the custom was that you cannot show your face to your father-in-law. So she withdraws, she goes behind the wall and pulls her parda in front of her face, veils her face, veil. As custom demands, daughter-in-laws must veil their faces before male elders. As I told you, underline. Why does she do like this? Because the custom is there. In this case, the elder is an impoverished bangle maker. And here, who is the elder? The elder is an impoverished bangle maker. Impoverished, very thin, victim of malnutrition. Now you must be remembering elementary school and all this. So here he was impoverished bangle maker, despite long years of hard labor. So first as tailor, then as a bangle maker, he has failed to renovate a house, send his 2 sons to school. All he has managed to do is to teach them what he knows, the art of making bangles. So despite of long years of teaching, he has failed to renovate his house. He has failed to send both the children to school, and all he has managed to teach them the art of making bangles. It is his karam, his destiny, says Mukesh's grandmother. So Mukesh's grandmother was also there. And they just blame their destiny. They are okay with whatever is happening in their life. So Anish Jung is trying to bring out the pathetic situation, and she's saying, she is pointing at the social injustice, how these people are made to believe that they are tied into their profession because it is their destiny, it is their karam. They can't do anything. अपने कर्म से, अपने डेस्टिनी से कैसे वो निकल के बाहर जा सकते हैं? They are tied to their destiny, they are tied to their karam. And it is in the lineage. She says Mukesh's grandmother, who has watched her own husband go blind with the dust from polishing the glass of bangles. So this elder has almost gone blind because polishing the glass bangles. As I told you, day and night looking at those bangles, welding all those glass pieces, entering your eyes, despite of and no health precautions and no health insurance or anything for them. So though they are making bangles for the entire country, they themselves, they go blind. can a God given lineage ever be broken? So they accept. She says, can a God given lineage, if God has decided this destiny for us, if God has decided this karam for us, can it be broken? Can we do something else? It is not possible. We have to do this, and we are made to do this. So they are so much into this understanding that they cannot do anything, and they will be only doing this. And they don't even try to get out of it this, because they think that the gods will not happy if they try something else to do. She implies, born in the caste of bangle makers. So caste decided your livelihood that time. Caste, you're born in the family those who make shoes, so you have to make shoes. If they are making bangles, then they will make bangles. So they have seen nothing but bangles. They have seen nothing but in the house, in the yard, in every other house, in every other yard, in every street in Firozabad, spirals of bangles. So everywhere in Firozabad, everywhere, spirals and spirals of bangles, piles and heaps of bangles, different colors of bangles in the yard means angan, in the backyard, in the front yard, in the streets, everywhere. What you will find? Bangles and more bangles and more bangles. But still they are so poor. And this is so pathetic. In unkempt yards, unkempt, again this word has come which I had used with here, unkempt, not properly kept, piles and piles thrown away, are pulled on four-wheeled hand carts. And hand carts, you know, रेडी जिसको आप हिंदी में कहते हैं, hand carts, they are put, and they don't even have horses or donkeys to pull them. They pull themselves. In the hand carts, they put all the bundles of and the piles of the bangles. And what all colors? Spirals of bangles, sunny gold, paddy green, royal blue, pink, purple, every color born out of the 7 colors of the rainbow. So every color. So see how the writer is describing about the bangles. So colorful, so vibrant, but in contrast, the city is so shanty, the city is so sickly, the city is choked with garbage, and their condition is so in contrast with the bangles. So, and in dark hutments next to lines of flames of flickering of lamps sit boys and girls with their fathers and mothers wielding pieces of colored glass into circles of bangles. So each and every child of Firozabad is making bangles, and they are put into this profession. Their eyes are more adjusted to dark than to the light outside. They are more adjusted to the darkness inside than to the light outside. They cannot see the light. So there is no light. The contrast here is so nicely brought out by the writer. The contrast is this, that there is no light in their life. They are without light, though they are making day and night beautiful, vibrant colored, vibrant bangles for outside people. So that is why they often end up losing their eyesight before they become adults. So before they become adults, they lose their eyesight. So please children, I think so you must have understood till here what was the profession of Firozabad, how these children stayed there, what they did there, and if government would want, then if government wants, the government can take them out of this profession, where at least 20,000 or more children are being occupied in this profession. They're day and night, they're doing this, and before they become adult, they lose their eyesight. But none of the politicians, none of the leaders, they come, because everybody is making money, everybody is into it. This is what the writer will say afterwards. Savita, a young girl in a drab pink dress, very old, not very shiny pink dress, sits alongside an elderly woman. Elderly woman is the woman of the home, that is the grandmother, soldering pieces of glass. Soldering means joining pieces of glass. As her hands move mechanically like the like the tongs of a machine. So her hands are used, simile is here, hands are used like tongs of machine. Hands have become so fast, doing so much of work, that it almost is looking like what? It is looking like as if they are tongs of machines. One second. Yeah. I wonder if she knows the sanctity of the bangles she helps to make. Sanctity, purity, because these bangles are so pious and so auspicious. They are used in marriages for the girls. So she says that the author says here, I wonder if she knows the sanctity of the bangle she helps make. It symbolizes an Indian woman's suhag. Suhag? You know suhag, when Indian woman is married, then it symbolizes. We Indian ladies, we wear sindoor, we wear bangles to show that we are married. Auspiciousness in marriage. It will dawn on her suddenly one day when her head is draped with red veil. So suddenly dawned, D-A-W-N, dawned. Here dawn means realization. D-A-W-N, I had taught you break of the early morning, but the same spelling, same word, but the meaning, same sound, meaning is different. It dawns means yes, she realizes that one day she will realize, but suddenly when her head would be covered with red veil, red sari and red parda, and then her bangles rolled, and her hands dyed red with henna, and when her hands would be dyed red with henna, then she will realize that what has happened. She is getting married. Hands dyed red with henna and red bangles rolled onto her wrist. She will then become a bride. Red bangles. When red bangles will come on her wrist, then she will become a bride, and then she will realize that what actually these bangles meant. Like the old woman beside her who became one many years ago. So this old woman, her grandmother also must have become a bride many years ago. But did their situation change? No, their situation did not change. In Firozabad, the situation is the same. There's losing their eyesight day and night. They're slogging. When it's so bright outside, they are inside in the dark room and soldering those glass pieces, making the glass bangles which are going out to be sold. And people are making money out of it. However, they are not. She still has bangles on her head, wrist, but no light in her eyes. Again, a contrast. She still has bangles on her wrist, but no light. एक वक्त शेर भर खाना भी नहीं खाया. Hindi line is here. She says, एक वक्त शेर भर खाना भी नहीं खाया. मतलब एक वक्त पेट भर के खाना खाया नहीं. One time a meal full, where they could have full meal, where their tummy would be filled, their stomach would be filled, and they would be satisfied. She has not eaten. एक वक्त शेर भर के खाना नहीं खाया. This is what she is trying to tell, despite of day and night slogging there. She says in a voice drained of joy, she has not enjoyed even one full meal in her entire lifetime. That's what she has reaped. इतने दिन करने के बाद, काम करने के बाद, यही उसने पाया. और this is what she has earned. Reaped means earned. Reaped, R-E-A-P-E-D, when you cut the grains and you get something in your, as a reward. But here she has not reaped anything. Her husband, an old man with flowing beard, says, old man with a flowing beard says, I know nothing except bangles. All I have done is make a house for the family to live in. So he says, I have done nothing at all except making a house and making bangles. That's it. And hearing him, one wonders if he has achieved what many have failed to in their lifetime. He has a roof over his head. So hearing him, Anish Jung says that one wonders that at least he has got roof over his head. The same thing was in the other excerpt. Roof was more important even if it was leaking. So the houses were shanty, the houses were in a pathetic condition, the doors were wobbly, but at least she was thinking that he is having at least a roof above his head. So I hope so, children, you must have understood till here, and you must not be having any problem. Let's go ahead. The cry of not having money to do anything except carry on the business of making bangles, not even enough to eat, rings in every home. So they don't have any money, much money, and only that much money they have with which they can make bangles. And this echoes, this rings, this cry of unhappiness is ringing in each and every house of Firozabad. And even not ring, the young men echo the lament of their elders. The young men echo the lament of their elders. The young men, they say, they're lamenting. Their elders also were into this business, and they are also into this, the same business of making bangles. So the young men echo the lament of their elders. Little has moved with time, it seems, in Firozabad. They say that nothing has changed in Firozabad. It is almost the same. Nothing has at all changed. Our forefathers were making bangles, and we are also making bangles. So students, I think so you must be understanding what I am teaching you all. And if you have any problem, if you have any queries, as I told you, please write to me at rashmi.singh 02110211@gmail.com. Why not organize yourselves into a cooperative? I ask a group of young men who have fallen into the vicious circle of middlemen who trap their fathers and forefathers. Even if we get organized, we are the ones who will be hauled up by the police, beaten and dragged to jail for doing something illegal, they say. There is no leader among them. No one could help them see things differently. Their fathers are as tired as they are. They talk endlessly in a spiral that moves from poverty to apathy, and children from poverty to apathy to greed and to injustice. So please underline, they are in a spiral. So spiral, it is going on and on from poverty to apathy. Apathy when nobody cares for you, nobody is bothered for you, how you are living your life. And Anees Jung says that go and make a cooperative. Why don't you organize yourself into cooperative? And then you think that they would be happy. No, if they tried, one or two of them tried, they were dragged, beaten, hauled up by the middlemen जो बीच के दलाल होते हैं, दलाल, the middlemen, dalal, who actually take money, who actually buy their things in a very less amount of money and then sell in the cities in a very high prices. Listening to them, I see two distinct worlds. One of the family caught in a web of poverty, burdened by the stigma of caste in which they are born. The other, a vicious circle of the sahukars, the middlemen, the policemen, the keepers of the law, the bureaucrats, and the politicians. So she says, listening, when she listens to their stories, that how when they try, they are being dragged by the police people, they are being dragged by the dalals, the middlemen, they are beaten and then they are put into jail, that they don't dare to break this lineage of making bangles. They don't dare to come out of this circle. They have to make bangles, then they will make bangles. They can't even dare to come out of this vicious circle. So she says that when I listen to them, then I feel there are two distinct words. Please underline, students. What are the two distinct words? Two distinct words. One, the first one, You have to learn it. One of the family caught in the web of making bangles. They cannot come out of this web. They are caught. Why the expression of web is used? Because when you're caught in a jar, web is a jar. You cannot cut it and come out. As if you're trapped there. You cannot come out of it because they are born in the family of bangle makers. This is, and by their default, by their caste, they have to make bangles and they cannot do anything else. Like the potter makers, they have to make the pottery. Like shoemakers, the cobblers, they have to make shoes. So by default, by caste, and who has done this? These are the people, those who are rich once upon a time, and they have actually made the system and they're not able to come out of the system. So this is what Anish Jung is trying to tell. And the second one is the other is a vicious circle of the Sahukars. Very, very important. This comes as a single question also. What was the vicious circle? Vicious circle of the five groups. One is the Sahukars. The Sahukars are the money lenders. Once when they lend you money, they're actually you go on paying them taxes because the credit, it never ends. You go on paying them. These Sahukars, one day you take loan from them, you are never able to come out of their chungul. They are never able to come out of their trap. So Sahukars, the middlemen are the dalals. The middlemen who actually buy these the bangles from them and sell, take to the cities, from villages to the city. And the thirds are the keepers of the law. They can be anyone, the leaders, the politicians, the bureaucrats, the officers posted there, the bureaucrats, the officers posted there, and the politicians. So 5, the Sahukars, the middlemen, the bureaucrats, the law keepers, and the politicians, and the policemen. The law keepers are the politicians and the policemen. So all these 5 people, they make a vicious circle. And these people, these bangle makers, are entrapped into the vicious circles of these 5 people. As I told you, bureaucrats, policemen, Sahukars, middlemen, and the politicians. So they are very badly trapped and they cannot come out. Together they have imposed the baggage on the child that he cannot put down, and so much of burden, so that if forefathers have taken loan, the grandchildren till now they're not able to repay back. The Sahukars, they don't let them. The politicians see that the Sahukars don't let them. The policemen see that they sell it in a very low prices to the middlemen, and they see that they are abiding by the rules made by the Sahukars. And the politicians, they are actually patting the back of the policemen. The bureaucrats are also they're also just because they have to say yes to the politicians, so they are also not speaking anything, keeping their mouth shut because they have to save their own lives. So they are so much heavy baggage that these children are not able to put down their baggage. So together they have imposed the baggage on the child that he cannot put down. Before he is aware, he accepts it as naturally as his father. And before he grows up, he accepts that he knows that he is a son of a bangle maker. So he has to make the bangle. So much of social injustice is there, but still he has to do. To do anything else would mean to dare. Please underline this, children. To do anything more is to dare. And if he dares, he would be thrown where? He would be thrown into the jail, because all these 5 groups are entwined and they see that these children of Firozabad are not able to come out. And isn't it irony that CBSE is teaching this, that politicians, bureaucrats, middlemen, Sahukar, policemen are all involved, and still the situation of Firozabad is the same. Isn't it an irony that we are teaching, I as a teacher, I am teaching you from CBSE syllabus the same thing. That means everybody is knowing this. and still nothing is being done. We have just become a blind spectator. Blind, we cannot do anything. And daring is not their part of growing up. Please underline, daring. They needn't dare. If they are growing up, if they dare, what will happen? They will be thrown into police station. They will be, maybe they'll murdered and killed also. Who knows? When I sense a flash of it in Mukesh, I am cheered. But Mukesh wants to be, he wants to be a motor mechanic. He wants to drive a car, and she senses a feeling of a spark of rebellion in Mukesh, and she's happy that there is somebody who is ready to break the shackle of poverty, who's ready to come out of this chain of social injustice, caste stigma, and break this norm that a bangle seller's son would be a bangle seller, a shoemaker's son will be a shoemaker. She sees that there is a spark in this small boy, and she then is very happy. Let's see what she says after that. I am cheered. I want to be a motor mechanic, he repeats. He will go to a garage and learn. I am cheered. I want to be a, he repeats, he will go to a garage and learn. But the garage is a long way from his home. I will walk, he insists. Do you also dream of flying a plane? So he says that I want to become a motor mechanic, he repeats. He will go to a garage and learn. So this is what he only had told, that I will go to a garage and learn. Then she says, Anees Jung, but garage is very far. Garage, G-A-R-A-G-E, garage where motors, where cars are being repaired. This is not garbage. B is removed from here. This is garage, G-A-R-A-G-E, where motors are being repaired. So so she says that garage is very far. How will you go? He says, I will go walking. He has got that strength, determination of mind. See, this one child has got determination of mind, and he says that he'll walk down to the garage and he will see his dream come fulfilled. Then she asked, Anees Jung, in the previous excerpt also, she had asked something which after that she repented, and then she asks, do you also dream of flying plane? Plane? That is not done. She asks, do you also dream of flying plane? He's suddenly silent. Obviously, for him to become a motor mechanic was such a big dream, and to fly a plane, to become a pilot, was out of question. So he just hides his embarrassment. He hides being shy, and he says no. He says, staring at the ground. He stares at the ground because he knows that it is not in his reach. In his small murmur, in an embarrassment, because that is out of reach. So much of money, from where will he bring? That has not yet turned into regret. But that was not regret. It was only an embarrassment. So he may one day fly a plane. Who knows? History is there, whose language is the sun. Remember in elementary school? So if given the opportunity, he can fly a plane also. He is content to dream of cars, but he has got no regrets that he cannot fly planes. He has no regret whatsoever. He is contented to drive a car. He is contented, totally contented to dream of cars, and that he will be a motor mechanic. He is content to dream of cars that he sees hurtling down, hurtling, noise, coming down, noise, making noise, the streets of his town. Few airplanes fly over Firozabad. So this is an contrast, this is an irony. Few airplanes fly over Firozabad. That means their destiny is under a big blotch, a gloom. Future is not theirs, but still there are few boys who's trying to dream big, and only few airplanes fly over Firozabad. There are still few people who are trying to break this stigma of caste, who want to come out of the shackle of slavery and want to break this shackle. They don't want to make any more bangles. They want to do something else, and they are actually trying to dare. However, daring is not a part of their growing up, but now they are trying to dare. So with this, we come to the end of this chapter. I would like to tell you one more thing. I would be preparing the important question, some hacks, the important lines, and I would preparing it as newsletters, which you can get from me by writing to me in my sending me a mail, and my mail ID is rashmi.singh02110211@gmail.com. So thank you, students. Good day ahead. Thank you.